Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2015 science fiction horror film Extinction. A film that is directed by Miguel Angel Vivas and it stars Matthew Fox, Jeffrey Donovan, Quinn McColgan and Clara Lego. Now this film focuses on a couple of survivors from it's an apocalyptic event. Essentially, at the beginning of the film, we are shown a sequence of events where essentially there are some creatures that have happened upon the world. They're almost like vampires crossed with zombies, and we see a group of survivors trying to escape. It all goes terribly wrong. There are a number of deaths, blah blah blah. Two of these survivors is Matthew Fox and Jeffrey Donovan's character Patrick and Jack, and there is the wife of Matthew Fox as well, I believe, and a little baby. And then after you see the catastrophic events of the first part of the film, first 10-15 minutes or so, it then shifts to 9 years later. The world now is going through like a new ice age, I guess. I'm not really sure, but it's bloody cold and there's ice and snow everywhere. And these two guys, who clearly know each other and are good friends at the beginning of the film, Matthew Fox's character and Jeffrey Donovan's character, Patrick and Jack, are neighbours, but they don't communicate. Something has happened over the years where they are completely estranged. They don't talk. And Jeffrey Donovan is looking after what we saw at the beginning of the film, the baby, who is now 9 years old. And they have to survive day by day. They go out and get supplies, raids, that kind of stuff. And they think that the creatures that they saw, or that we saw at the beginning of the film, have all but died due to the cold and everything, and they've all starved and died off. However, they are wrong, and the creatures are back, and they all have to survive. Right, that's basically the story that we get here with Extinction. What are my thoughts on this film? Well, this film, I've had it on my watch list for quite a while. This is the sort of film that when I read the plot of it and things like that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a film for me. It's got a good cast, Matthew Fox obviously reliable, Jeffrey Donovan very reliable, good concept, good idea, and this film actually it executes it pretty well. That's not to say there aren't some issues with this film, because there are, but I must admit it's quite an enjoyable and watchable film for sure. I thought the effects were very good for the creatures, especially like I say I think the design of the creatures was pretty good, and they feel very threatening. Like I said, they're crossed between vampires and zombies, I suppose, and they hunt. Certainly later in the film, I don't think they did it at the beginning of the film, but later in the film they hunt just on using their hearing. So I thought that was good. I thought the design of the film was good. The cinematography at times was very good. It's the thing is, it's too enclosed, is the film for me. It's just this story for the most part of these three characters: Matthew Fox's character, Jeffrey Donovan's character, and the 9-year-old girl played by Quinn McColgan. It's just that dynamic. And this is a film that desperately needed, in my opinion, a little bit more world building, a little bit more exposition, and I've said this before in reviews. I'm not one that, I'm not a big advocate of exposition in movies, because Hollywood generally gets it wrong and they give us way too much. Well, this didn't give us enough, if you like. You've no idea at the beginning of the film how this outbreak has happened, what's gone wrong. You just treated at the beginning to like these people on a bus being escorted by the military, and then these creatures attack, and and it all goes to hell. So the outbreak has obviously happened, but you've no idea what. And then even later in the film, 9 years later, when you've got this ice age, it would seem, and you're kind of thinking, well, how's that happened? What has happened that has done this? It's created these creatures and created this new ice age, if you like. And you don't get anything in the way of an explanation, which I think actually harms the film. Generally speaking, let's say Hollywood overdoes it and they over-explain. Here we don't get any of that. There are another couple of niggling issues that I don't want to talk about because it will delve into spoiler territory, but I did have an issue with the reason why these two characters, Jeffrey Donovan's and Matthew Fox's character, aren't talking and haven't talked for a good number of years. I had a bit of an issue with that, but obviously I can't talk about that because it will go into spoilers. But it's quite slow paced as well. After the initial 10 minutes when we first introduced to this scenario and these creatures, and then we're treated to that, 9 years later, a good half an hour or so of quite slow paced stuff. It's just scenes of them surviving, and Jeffrey Donovan with his daughter, doing household stuff, brush your teeth, eat your food, let's do your homework, all this kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, okay, we get this dynamic now, move on with the film. And I think it kind of ran out of ideas initially, and then it becomes a little bit predictable then, unfortunately. They meet another survivor, they make a couple of errors, these creatures come back, and then it's like a fight for survival type stuff. It's kind of stuff you expected to see in the film, so the film again doesn't give you an awful lot of surprises. However, so the film does have some problems, that is very much for sure, but I'm not going to lie, I quite enjoyed the film. I thought it was well made, good effects, good performances that really helped the film, and at times it does get incredibly tense, there's no getting around it. I wanted to know more, I wanted to learn more about this world, but overall what they gave me was something that I did enjoy, and it's something I would recommend if you do get the opportunity to watch it. So that is my review for Extinction. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.